So now I'm offering a pick a tag, pick a jar reading. And so what is your message in a bottle? How have your angels, your guides, your ancestors been coming through to nudge you on your journey in the direction that your soul is calling for? And perhaps that one thing that you're avoiding, you're afraid of, or not sure if you should pursue might be the very thing worth looking into. And so are you avoiding a change? Are you allowing an insecurity to lead? Are you staying a little too small because you're afraid to put yourself out there and pursue your dream? Afraid to have that conversation or take that healthy risk to empower yourself, to grow, to feel? And will you sit with the divine? Sit with the divine within, and allow yourself to believe wholeheartedly in your transformation. Perhaps there's something that's been calling to your heart, to your soul, to look at, to transform. And maybe that one thing you're avoiding is the ticket to your transformation. Timestamps will be listed below, and as always, take what resonates. If this first jar ticket called to you, there may be a message here for you. And what patterns are you noticing? Whether you have an artistic flair and see things a little bit differently, or perhaps in a social situation, you're starting to pick up on other layers that others don't speak to, notice, or see. And can you believe, the word integrity is coming to mind, can you believe in what you see and sense, even if it's, a little out of the norm, a little out of the box? And maybe that's what's needed here, is for you to transform a situation. What does a rebirth feel like to you? What about that rebirth causes anxiety? What about coming out of that box causes anxiety for you? What if it's not about being different or right, but really drawing someone's attention to a pattern, illuminating the way by not accepting status quo? What is your passion? What is your passion? As you have a triangle here. So do mandalas call to you? Some sort of energy that comes through geometric shapes. Maybe you're seeing those. Bottom deck is the Ace of Swords. You are that clear channel, that passion, like what frustrates you, what you see in others might be the truth. And maybe the angels are working with you to illuminate that way, to be that messenger. And it could be through either patterns, art. How is Spirit working through you? Through your emotional body, through your talents, through the people they align to you. Five of Cups is the next bottom deck energy. Work beyond regret into illumination. Are you a seeker? How do people seek you out? How do you see the world? Maybe there's some sort of pattern you see a pattern in traditional society that needs to be broken free from. Notice how the angels look up, and perhaps calling on Archangel Michael. Who are you in partnership with? Back to that passion. The very thing that hurt you might have broken you open to create the clarity for you to learn to speak your truth, to see the truth. Card fell out. What steps can you take? What seeds have you planted? How are you growing? Where does your soul want to be planted? What if there were no mistakes or accidents and things are exactly as they should be, and you're progressing using what's been given to you, what's been handed to you, playing your cards with integrity, seeing clearly the truth, speaking the truth, honoring your truth, honoring your true passions, and allowing that to be the seed to success, your transformation, your healing, your growth. 6, that progression from. So not everything will always hurt. And maybe running from that truth, of that pain, is exactly what will help you see clearly, feel clearly, and plant these new seeds. What if it was not meant to be long term? Like that was just part of a stage or a learning, or you were teaching someone else, for example. That's fairly specific. In order to speak your truth, you need to see it. In order to know the steps to take, you need to feel your passions. And part of the progress is making the choice to see through the lens of your passion, through your pain, and moving through it. And how much of that was about the connections in your life that helped you to see who you are. Reflection. Who are you? What's growing inside of you? What's transforming? And how can you see clearly? Bottom deck. And as you see clearly, bringing that energy to the earthly plane and trusting Earth's magic, the experience on Earth through the angelic, through other humans, through passions, pains, pitfalls, communication, and allowing that to grow here on this planet. The gifts of your intuition, your insight, your truth, your passion, your calling. I do hope this served well. Senam. This ticket card or jar called to you. There may be a message here, and as I was shuffling for you, I heard, what is your true calling? And will you give birth to that? And with the butterfly kind of opened up, perhaps you've been through a process that now allows you to kind of open up, to move in a direction, to migrate with others to a place for you to grow and expand. So what insights are you receiving? What internal pull or nudge? I'm getting the sense of a migration or a group, like the way that the monarchs move together. And I'm sure they don't think about it because they go on the feeling, they know it, they trust it. And what if you're not this lost soul, but there's a deeper calling or resonance with something that's outside of maybe your physical family that's here and more aligned with your soul tribe? And what if that choice to transform is bountiful? And what if it's not as lonely as it feels? Rather, you are received energetically. And will you tap in? Tap in to maybe it's, a planet, starseed community, something of the sort. And maybe it's about astral travel or who you connect with when you meditate and allowing yourself to sit with your counsel, for example. This fell on the floor, this popped out, and this is your bottom deck. What if Spirit's handing you the insights to work in the material, and you're still learning how to bring that forth, and the mental body is not quite sure what's happening, feeling the sense of possibly alone or boxed in. And with the Eight of Swords, it's a choice. It's a choice to think that way. The Seven of Wands says, rise above what you're afraid of. Rise above what you believe and allow yourself to receive. There are insights and magic here. And will you step out of your own way and energetically step up to move something forward here? You have someone with you. Notice when you feel that, if you get all in your head, it's hard to receive insight. It's hard to feel that energy. So how can you move? How can you, maybe it's going for a walk, maybe it's working with pets, maybe it's yoga, whatever it is. Anything can happen here. And you could be working between two worlds. Oh gosh, you can't see. Sorry. So bottom deck. And flipped out. So managing your energy, managing your thoughts, knowing that your thoughts work with the energy body. Your cells are receiving the messages that you put out in the thinking mind. Can you work and move your energy? The Two of Pentacles here with this spread, I'm going to say, is working between two worlds. Working with the divine. Astral travel is coming up again, so maybe look into that and be a little bit more proactive in what you request in your dream or who you commit to energetically. Like in the ascension process, like, who is your soul tribe? What is your planet? Where's your home? What's your planet? That was quick. This came out actually in the last reading. That was quick. Magical child. Imagination. Will you allow your imagination to work with you rather than against you? Kind of like that glass half empty, full, kind of if you wither down in those thoughts, or can you rise up with those thoughts and see yourself clearly, not as someone has projected onto you or what you think you ought to be, because maybe you are the seed that's planted here to bring new life here on this planet. Whimsical, the word whimsical comes to mind. Look at everything that's at her access. And will you be curious about life? Will you be willing to go down that rabbit hole? Or with true intent, possibly calling on a guide to go with you? And so choosing who and what you align to when you travel in the astral realm. The thinking mind, the thoughts. Watch your thoughts. And trust your angels. That feeling, that nudge, those insights. Maybe you are supposed to write a book. Maybe the book's within your heart and you magically bring it forth into the world. And so again, coming back to working on multiple levels, you're working with the divine in the material. And that's out of the box, that's out of the norm, that's magic, that's you, that's who you're meant to be. Your insights are real. Third eye, possibly clearing that. And that's where you'll gain understanding. Okay, let me show you this. This just happens to be right here, but this helps with the third eye. So kind of calling in the magic. How do you call in your magic? And how can you, again, manage your energy? Some of that might be based on what you see in yourself, what you're afraid to see, what you think you're not. And it's time to believe in your own magic. The very gifts that were implanted in you, that were given to you as you incarnated in this journey, in this lifetime, is exactly what the world needs to see in the material. So work through your mental body and cultivate your magic energetically. Courage, tenacity, fight the good fight. And it seems like most of it's like playing out in your own head. And once you kind of work through that, and it might be like this constant thing, not like a nagging thing, but just like laundry. You just have to maintain. Like, what is your self-care plan so that you can do the dance you're supposed to do, so you can bring that gift here on this planet. Remember who you are. It might have been that gift, that thing as a child that you shut down. And now it's time to open up to it. And trust. Trust this transformation. You hold the key to your own success and path. Choose wisely. Sending lots of light and love. If this third jar to get called to you, there may be a message here for you. What are you telling yourself about your experience? What's happening in the mental body? Like, how are your thoughts trying to tell you that something needs to change? Like, how is something in your experience, like deep down in your bones, feeling like it's time for a change? Like, it doesn't have to be this daunting task to change, but something really feels like it's signaling for change. And, just as I was like shuffling your cards and getting ready, like my thoughts completely changed. And I don't get the sense that it's like this downward spiral. It's just like cleaning up something in the physical realm and starting anew. And your thoughts might be just kind of alarming you. Something's alarming you. Like, are you listening? Are you ready for a clean slate? It doesn't have to be this way or as it was. That makes sense. There's room for growth here. It's a choice. And somehow your thoughts are kind of sounding this alarm. It's really what I get. You already know this. How would you reset to transform the situation you're in? What more do you need? And will you allow yourself to have that? Things aren't fixed. It's not set in stone. What are you taking in? Maybe someone's pessimistic around you. Maybe you're just sitting and receiving and you think that's all that, like what you're experiencing now is all that there is. And there's more. I get the sense of rebirth, like deep down at the cellular, like soul. Like with this card, I get the sense, like the Eight of Wands is like communication. But with this kind of image, it's like one passing the baton, I guess. But initially I'm thinking like cave drawings. Speaking of sounding the alarm, there was a helicopter too just before I started recording. Nine of Wands, it's more than like, the Nine of Swords is about fear, and that's the first word that kind of came to mind when I saw this card. I had to remind myself we're in the Wands energy, so letting your wounds, there's something in the wounds, in the way you feel. And you hold it within yourself to visualize a new step. This stance is very like, oh my gosh. Sorry, it's just. What do you want for yourself? How are you getting in the way, or someone else is in your way that needs to be cleaned up? Like, maybe you need to ask someone to get out of your way so you can see clearly. Is that you? Is it someone else? Is it some situation from your past? Oh, excuse my stomach. What will bring you happiness? Maybe looking in the shadows, or it's time to break free of that shadow energy to bring in the light. What are the whispers in the dark? What were the whispers you had along the way that helped you like grow? Like, what magic did you possess? What conversations did you have? Who held you energetically as a child? And how is that same energy saying, here, I'm here for you. Let's try again. Let's do something new. What do you want for you? Whispers in the dark, whispers in the dark. It's come up a couple times. And horses, like horsepower, you have the energy. And they were always there with you. Ancestors are a guide. And they're going to help you transform and get yourself out of what's happening right now. It might be beyond your wildest belief what you can create for yourself. Oh, there goes my stomach again. Trust your gut, I guess. There's a new way, but it's kind of like tuning into the old way and like resetting the dial, like really listening in at a deeper level, to a deeper calling, this ancient wisdom, this heartbeat that's you. This one almost reminds me of a heartbeat. I don't know why, like a heart itself, like deep within you. Do you look at art? Do you know art history, something like that? You could have been paving the way or sounding the alarm without even knowing it. Now it's your turn to pave a new way for yourself and others, or perhaps a whole clan, colony, tribe of humans. And you're not alone on this. And because it's new, it might be a little frightening. But yet it's not really new, I don't think. What are you manifesting in the material? Let it come through. These are energy, but it wants to rebirth in the physical. And 5 of clubs says change. Change is here and it's on the way for your happiness. Don't let your thoughts get in your way. Oh my goodness. I haven't done purpose yet. Ooh. Divine Messenger, bottom deck. So you are calling it in. You are bringing it here. It's working through you. Always has. Mystical rapture. My gosh. It just screams goddess, intuition. And especially with the horses here. I like that chariot card. The yin and the yang working between that balance of the light and the dark, between the shadow, like goddess of the underworld, but pulling the light from above to shine light from the heavens into that deeper, darker place that so many are afraid to go to. You may be that leader that brings that in, that helps people transform their experience. Like you are rebirthing change. Oh. Maybe it's not meant to be on the earth. It's like this delicate balancing act that only you could do. And are you afraid of the messages that come through? Maybe it's time to own it and light the way for yourself and others through this transformation. Some kind of like mystic. You're a mystic. Thank you. Thank you for shining your light. Thank you for showing others the way. So if this last jar called to you or ticket, there may be a message here for you. Excuse my stomach's growling. I heard no regrets while I was shuffling for you, and all the way, like, go, maybe you went all in, and like, kudos to you, and it might not have turned out the way you expected or wanted to, but awesome for you for trying and stepping all in. Or maybe it's time to step all in, rehash. I don't know why that's coming out. Like, stop rehashing the past and just step wholeheartedly into you now, regardless of the past. Like, fuck that. Like, go all in. Let's do this. Or you went all in. Like, stop judging yourself or thinking someone else is judging you, or that judgment to hold you back from opening up and moving on all levels. Queen of Swords. It's kind of split, so I want to take a look at these cards. Four of Pentacles and 10 of Pentacles. Okay. Are you gripping to a reality from the past and just letting that weigh you down? And your angels are asking for a new journey, and you really have the ability to communicate something new to someone else, to yourself, or to others. In the past, maybe something with family ties, like maybe you were that black sheep, and maybe there is some chatter around you, but oh well, listen to your angels, not the drama or the chatter, and allow yourself to have abundance. Allow yourself not to be hungry. But allow yourself to fill your cup, to have the treasure. You are a treasure on this planet. Don't hold to what some other concept was of the past. Allow yourself to be that truth, to speak kindly to you. I'm sorry if someone didn't speak kindly to you in the past. Speak kindly to yourself now. There's thoughts, the way you speak, create this abundance or hold you back in the past. And if you want something new in the material, it starts with the thoughts. It starts with speaking it into existence from the bottom to the top. And your angels are urging you. Pandora's box. What if you open it and you clean out the clutter of the past? And hope is there, love is there, abundance is there, that there's a treasure in going into what you're afraid to look at. The information keeps hitting you in the head. Pick up that sword and cut ties, cut cords, cut resistance. Be sharp. Use your wisdom. What are you holding? What magic? What potion? Could be two things here. 9. So success. Are you fighting your own independence? Are you fighting the next step to receive? And is there a king here for you? Or are you, it's either fighting that energy of the King of Swords from the past to then be the queen here today? Or is there a king that wants to communicate with you and the resistance is coming from you blocking from the past concepts? And the truth is that you are capable of having your cake and eat it too, to be that energy. So balancing the energy within, balancing the thoughts, and allowing something new to come in to then, oh my gosh, my stuff, to then bringing that success. I don't know why I said 6. Movement. And because it's the 9 and not the 6, it's it's already here for you. Take it. Clean this little bit up. Or allowing the manager within you, that fire energy, to work inside of you to bring forth this. Internal, external resistance, or the way that you work on multiple levels. Oh Lord. Okay, you are nurturing something here. You are. And not to hold to the past, but let this open up and let the divine help you. Bring in this love. Not to be afraid of love. Not to be afraid to love yourself. Not to let the past haunt you from what you can cultivate here in the material realm. What you can transform, what you can give birth to, who you can connect to. On all levels, your frequency is different than those that you were born with, like your physical family. And now you're creating either a new family, a new connection, a new way of thinking, a new way of being. And the new connection that Spirit's aligning you to is very different than anything you've seen, known, or felt in the past. And so that could be shining light to what you need to release from the past, but also shining light to what's possible for you in the future that you had no idea that you were capable of receiving. And you be willing to give and receive love and let that magic come in. Let that love be here for you. You don't have to walk this alone. And together there's magic. Together there's abundance. Together you two could be creating something new on this planet. Whether it's a human being or a program, or simply, I get the sense it's more of a way of being together, being human in this incarnation in a new way, with love. You might not have known love like this before. It might be showing up for you in a new way within yourself. Don't let that freak you out. Let it open you up. I'm going to leave this here, sending lots of light and love. Satnam. Satnam, sharing the Dax cues. Thank you so much for listening, and do hope that it served well. Thank you too for subscribing and sharing. So this first deck is the influence of the Angels Tarot, whatever, the Bicycle Firebird deck. And this deck, I highly recommend. It comes with a really good book, Divine Muses Oracle. Let's see if I can. That's from Marie Bento. So, do hope this served well. Sending lots of love your way.